My 26F girlfriend wants me, 28M, to go fully vegan, but I don't want to. Any advice? So me 28M and my girlfriend 26F are having more issues lately about veganism. My girlfriend is vegan for about 5 years now and we are dating for 7 years. Over all the years I understand her choice but I don't want to go fully vegan. We cook vegan at home. There is a no meat rule at home and if we go out and travel I also eat as much vegan as possible. Because I respect her choice and I do love her so much. When do I eat meat? When I am at work or out with my friends. Or sometimes when we are traveling and don't find any options that suits me. But now she wants me to go fully vegan when I don't want to. I feel like our relationship is falling apart because of this. Like she gave me an ultimatum. My heart hurts and I don't know what to do. Any advice is greatly appreciated. What you eat is up to you. She doesn't get to decide for you how or what you eat. If she only wants to date someone who is fully vegan then she should break up with you. Don't do anything you don't want to do. I say this as a committed vegetarian of 18 years. Your diet is yours and yours alone, no one else should dictate it for you. Eating vegan at home is a reasonable compromise but if you don't want to be fully vegan outside the home that's your business, not hers. I defiled this under, your body, your choice. This ultimatum ends the relationship for me. It shows such a lack of care and respect for you and both your guys' relationship. If you want to eat meat that is your decision, and she knew that 7 years ago. Her forcing veganism on you is unreasonable. Say, no, and that, giving you an ultimatum over not following her imposed dietary restrictions is not only crossing a boundary but is also emotionally and physically abusive. Everyone has a right to decide for themselves what they will and will not eat. Break up. She does not respect you. Boyfriend, M26, wants to leave me, F25, on my birthday. What to do? Context below. Hi, so my boyfriend surprised me the other day at my apartment because it was my birthday. He got me flowers, cake, and a present. He also told me that he's gonna take an off today to spend the day with me. We were super happy that we ended up eating cake, opened gifts, and making out. While we were making out, he asked me if I wanted to have sex without a condom, which I declined because I'm not on a pill and I'm definitely gonna be ovulating very soon. He asked me again but I told him no. He then stopped and gave me silent treatment in bed. We weren't talking for more than an hour and I felt really bad about the situation so I got emotional. He then got up and told me that he's just gonna go home because he wants to sleep and he can't sleep while I'm crying. Any advice would be appreciated. He didn't get to have sex without a condom, started sulking and when you cried, he left you alone on your birthday. Has anything remotely similar happened before? Sue, he only got you those gifts, things to try and butter you up for unprotected sex, continued to pressure you for it until you cried, and while you were crying because he was trying to coerce you into unprotected sex, which is, by definition, attempted rape, he just left you without remorse. Why are you with this loser? Leave before it gets worse and he actually starts abusing you. Please, I'm pretty sure you felt used. I'd be very upset too. Don't give him another chance to use you like that and do yourself a favor, break up. Hashtag PUT on your running shoes and ditch the boy. And stop having unprotected sex. Your other posts suggest this isn't the first time. Coercion is abusive and manipulative. Get on birth control. Condoms are 98% effective. The rhythm method is a crapshoot. He's a creep. Break up. This will not be a good relationship. This man is manipulative and it will turn out badly. Look at this pattern here where he love bombs you and then set you up for something that you can't do and then he knows you can't do and then punishes you for it at an emotionally vulnerable. I am 30F. Disgusted by my partner's 34M body. How do I talk to him about this? My 30F partner, 35M, and I have been together about 4 years now. When we first got together he had what I call a dad bod, and I was really attracted to him. Since then he's put on over 100 pounds, has breasts larger than my own and has an apron belly that hangs over his pants and almost covers his private area. I feel like a monster for being genuinely disgusted by his body. When he walks around shirtless or in a towel I have to look away or distract myself as to not grimace at the sight of him. Despite showering every day he quickly gets this sour smell in his private area because of how much he sweats. Because of this I can't bring myself to go down on him. Sex is near non-existent at this point as he can't keep an erection for more than a minute or so because he gets so winded and sweaty that he has to stop. He actually makes faces like he's struggling and uncomfortable while trying to have sex, which makes it feel like a massive unpleasant effort for him and that just makes it so undesirable to me. I don't know how to approach this subject without killing his already near non-existent self-esteem. I'm at the point where I am considering breaking up with him over this. Do anyone have any advice on how to broach this subject without making him horrible about himself? How do I even bring something like this up without sounding like a monster? Too long did not read. Boyfriend have become severely overweight and I don't know how to tell him to get it under control or I am leaving. Question. How did he get to this point? Was it health related or self-inflicted? Well, first off, leave any language like disgusted or unpleasant strictly to yourself. Have you tried encouraging him to live a healthier lifestyle before? It would go down a lot better if you offer it as a couple's journey, i.e. you'll both eat a more healthy diet and pick up an exercise regime together. See what he says to that and take it from there. I'd talk to him about therapy. Negative comments could cause him to further spiral. What if you invite him on a small walk at night, and discuss how he's setting himself up for an early grave while you would like to grow old with him? Then the focus isn't on his looks, but rather the genuine risks he's creating for his health. Therapy with an eating disorder specialist would grade LT help, even if it's not a disorder. They could work with him on his self-esteem and eating habits without him feeling unsafe or threatened. Personally, I break up with him over this lifestyle incompatibility. I want my partner to take initiative for his own health so we can have a long life together. This is just too far gone. You don't actually need to say you're disgust or bring up attraction at all. What you've described is extreme. His weight gain is seriously affecting his health, your sex life, and with the cost of food, also clothing, probably your finances. These are the types of very valid concerns you should bring up. He should go see a doctor. Zepbound works wonders. I don't mean that in a rude or dismissive way. I've known people with serious weight problems all their lives lose over 100 pounds. He still has to do the work to keep it off, but there are solutions to help him. Assuming there is no marriage, mortgage, kids, I'd say it's likely time to leave. The odds of him losing the weight and keeping it off at this stage are minuscule, and he'll make you both miserable trying and failing repeatedly. Mike, 26F, husband, 26M, is changing. I don't know what to do. My husband and I have been together 5 years total, married for 1 and are expecting our first child. At the beginning of our relationship, everything was perfect. In my opinion, at least. We both believe in having a traditional relationship and that's what we tried to make work. But now, he's different. We both work full-time and I can't do it all but he expects me to. He will intentionally avoid or forget to do the household chores that are his responsibility just for me to do them. On top of this, the people at his workplace are constantly talking about how they cheat on their wives and how they think their wives cheat on them. And now my husband has convinced himself that I cheat on him and we fight about how I have guy friends. And the only reason it's a fight is because I make it clear to my guy friends that I'm happily married and they don't hit on me or anything. But my husband will have girlfriends and not tell them about us being together or set boundaries, so they're blatantly hitting on him. I don't see why I need to get rid of my respectful friends when he's unwilling to get rid of his disrespectful ones. This is even worse because I can't keep up with his sex drive, so he thinks that it's because I sleep with someone else and that's who I spend my drive on. My husband will go out with his guy friends and their girlfriends without inviting me along or even telling me what his plans are. Stay out drinking until 1-3 am. And then the icing on the cake is when we had an argument the other day and he decided to push me out of his way so he could leave. Regardless of if I'm pregnant or not, that was inappropriate. But the fact that I am pregnant makes it so much worse. I don't know what to do anymore and I don't want a divorce. I've tried talking to him about all of this, but he doesn't even try to give me a response. I feel so unsupported in this pregnancy and that all the work I've put into this relationship means nothing to him. How should the conversation about these concerns go? If in my shoes, what would you do? Edit to clarify on the traditional stuff. What we had discussed was me quitting my job and being responsible for keeping the house and we would both be responsible for our child and dogs. After reading a lot of these comments and doing some reflecting over the last few hours, it's become clear to me that he wants me to keep house and take care of our child and dogs by myself and not keep a social life beyond him and our child. I have an appointment set up to get STD tested today and will keep y'all updated on anything that happens. You're all much appreciated and I'm sorry if I can't get back to every single comment. Oh honey, this is such a well-worn path that is littered with red flags. The mask has come off. He was always this way, but now he thinks he has you trapped because the baby is on the way. I'm begging you for the sake of your baby, you have to leave him now. He pushed you while you were pregnant. There is no sugarcoating this abuse and he's going to keep ramping it up. He pushed you while you were carrying his child. There's no talking about this. He knows what he did and he doesn't care. Please leave while you can. Honey, you do want a divorce. You even need a divorce. He's a fucking abusive lunatic. He thinks he's got you trapped with the baby. He's showing you who he really is. Believe him. Get out, this will only get worse. When I had my first baby I joined a few playgroups, I was horrified. Your situation is, heartbreakingly, not unique. I met so many amazing mothers who had PPD they were working, doing all the housework and baby duties, and they would still blame themselves for not being happy enough, not being able to have sex with their husbands enough. But I have had the privilege of seeing a handful of those women leave their husbands and thrive. I'm all for trying to see the other perspective and making a relationship work, but you cannot do that on your own, and it seems pretty clear your husband is not willing to compromise. While the idea of a traditional relationship sounds good, this is why it's so important to stay in the workforce, even if it's only a little. So many men change when they think they have you locked down. Once they don't have to try, they stop trying. This is who he is, it will get worse, and it will only get harder to leave. You might be able to shock him into keeping up the act for a little longer, but it will be a temporary reprieve. If you choose to stay with him, at least put an afternoon aside before you have your kid to build an escape plan. Put money aside, look for places to rent or stay, and keep track of how much you'll need to leave. Strengthen your support network. And for the love of God, don't quit your job, and don't become a stay-at-home mom for this man. He didn't change. This is who he always was. The difference is that he hid it before. Now that you're pregnant, he thinks he has you trapped and he can do whatever he wants to you. It is not going to get better. We don't have a magic solution to bring back a person who never existed. Your options are to accept a lifetime of this treatment or get a divorce. Also, in this climate, if you're US-based, be careful about men who claim to be traditional, because a lot of them actually mean this. When they say traditional, they mean abusive. They mean that they see you as lesser. And when you say you're traditional, what they hear is, she will accept my abuse. He's already planning to cheat. He's just setting it up and testing your boundaries. If I were you, I wouldn't stay with this man.